And yeah, the score is currently, oh, actually it's now 2-0. And why do I know? Oh, it's because the QuakeCon advertisement. Okay, so maybe we won't have Comp HUD tonight, guys. Not sure how I feel about that. Let me see if all of the Comp HUD stuff is locked out. There we go. That's weird.
It's a feature, not a bug.
Well, there it is. That's weird. Why would it not? Who cares? Okay, we're back in business. We got our stuff up. Okay, whatever.
5-minute warning.
So we just passed the halfway point. We've got Potsy leading Higgs on the ZTN, and we're gonna watch from Potsy's point of view. He has a nearly 200 stack, very solid. And let's go take a look at Higgs. Higgs is trying to shard up a little bit. He actually should pick up the 25 behind him. That would get him really close to full health, because you really don't want to start a fight. I mean, there's no reason to start at 30 health down. You'd be starting at 5 health down from full, and basically, he'd take a whole nother shot. A lot of missed rockets there. That was a lot of little bouncy splash, but nothing like really solidly hit by Potsy or Higgs in that. Potsy does get away with 89 health and grabs RA and Plasma Yellow, so he's back in business.
Yeah, and it's interesting to note, I haven't seen Potsy before, and I think Higgs is or was in KM. He's a pretty solid player, so...
And Potsy right now is doing a little bit of the wipe the floor, and the part of the mop is being played by Higgs at the moment. Although, to be honest, 4 frags up is not a huge lead, but you really don't want to dive in after your opponent with no armor and no plan. I mean, that's a bit suicidal. Red in 8 seconds, and I can hear down below. There's Potsy, and Higgs has been taking a lot of damage here. Boom, 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 boom. He should just... there it is. There's Red. He should have stayed for one more hit. He would have been a lot better off. And now he's in trouble. He can't get it Red. Nice switch of position there by Potsy. And he does land a rail. That makes Higgs rocket fodder. Down he goes.
Yeah, I got a chance to talk to Higgs earlier, like kind of just random conversation, but he said he struggles with timing. He said the rest of his game's solid, but for some reason the timing is just hard for him.
Well, I remember, I mean, I don't ever consider myself a pro, of course, but when I was trying to teach myself timing, this was back in college, so I was younger and I could actually do math back then. But one of the things that I would do is, as I would start a fight, I would literally count how many seconds the fight lasted, because what I noticed was that my brain could remember a number, but what I wanted to do was to be able to kind of just feel how long fights lasted, and I noticed that it really started to change how I played, because I would basically start leaving fights. That was my biggest problem when I was a newer player, is that basically you'd see somebody and be like, oh, kill him. But if you ever watch most of the pros, it's actually a lot of kind of back and forth. They will sort of try to get the upper hand. If they don't have it, they will find a way to lose the fight, because they don't want to lose timing whatever they're covering. By the way, Higgs has gotten a frag here, but we're getting pretty close to the end of this. Potsy's now in defensive mode with 5 frags up, so he's in pretty good shape. But and of course, back then, you didn't have things like in the lower left-hand corner, we actually have the time, the instant that something is picked up, so that you can put that in your brain and say, okay, I picked up Red at 8:37 or whatever it was. That we had to look up at the clock, and to be quite honest, the original Quake 3 HUDs, they weren't kind like this, where the timer's nice and big and stuff like that. Oh, nice, Higgs, getting a nade kill against Potsy. So so you really sort of trained your eye to dart up to that counter, and just do the math. And we've mentioned a couple times on the cast, but for newer players, I really feel like the fastest way to learn it, if you're having trouble with math, is to add 30 seconds the instant that you pick up something, and then add or subtract 5 seconds from that value, because you can do 30 seconds really quickly in your head, right? And then that way you're not trying to be like, well, I picked up RA at 37, so let me add exactly 25 to that. I mean, some people have those math skills, some people don't, but you can say, okay, 37, so that's, next minute plus 7, and then you can add or subtract 5 seconds from that. So RA would be 2, obviously. So the other piece of it is that just mentally you have to get into this whole cycle, and that will be the end of this fight. Wow, that was actually kind of quick, but we're gonna try to get into the next game. Hopefully it'll be a full game. Again, we apologize for sort of the haphazard start here, guys. Let's go take a look and see what's out there.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose if you were really serious about it, you could create a little exercise where you just write down values and then try to visually add it. I've never done that, but I mean, it might help you just to do it really quickly, to memorize, kind of like, I don't know, it's a good tip too to add 30 seconds.
Yeah, one strategy or technique I've noticed that really helps out is when you actually take advantage of that starting moment when you first spawn and the duel actually starts out, because then you can start basing your 25 and 30-second increments off of the spawn time, so you like wrap it up from start to finish. Of course, the timing, can get thrown off, like the 4th red armor that spawns or something else, but as a new player, approaching it from right immediately off the spawn definitely is one of the best ways to improve your game.
So here we got Death Row.
Everybody tries to pick up armor initially.
So we got Death Row and Mr. Green duking out again on ZTN, so I guess this is another round 1. Death Row up 2. Mr. Green has 1 frag, so I guess technically that's up 1. But I think as favorites go, I would like, I kind of like Death Row, but I will say this, his aim really needs to be on. I think one of his biggest issues is that he can output tons of damage, and he just looks amazing, especially with rockets. He's really strong with rockets. But then all of a sudden he'll kind of just miss everything in a row. So there's a consistency lacking to his aim. So he's very bursty. He has like burst damage, I guess.
Yeah, I feel like he exploded when he first started. He kind of already started to be a good player, and I think he's gotten better. And, like you said, he's still got a way to go. But
yeah, Mr. Green is able to get frag against Death Row and tie it up.
And Mr. Green's from Philp, which is a CTF clan. I think he's also a Bibs admin, so I've seen him play some great CTF. And I love his style. I'd like to see him do better in duel,
Yeah, Funky Let's Play is a really good CTF clan.
But yeah, that was a really sweet shot though. Death Row knocked Mr. Green off of red and was able to collect it himself. Mr. Green though dropped and traded for Mega, so he has 170 and 70 stack. Death Row has a 100 and 143 stack, so he's in pretty good shape. The item to play for is red armor though, so Death Row is actually behind in this instance. He's going to get at least 1 YA. He's going to opt to see if he can do damage here. He goes immediately to the red, doesn't really wait too long, and if he's smart, he would go as soon as he gets Mega. As soon as he gets Mega, he can move in and grab the plasma yellow. Instead, he opts to go for a railgun. He's out of rockets though, so he's probably no rocket ammo up on the window still there.
Speaking of rail, I think rail